So if you had told me that my life and career would bring me here tonight with all of you on this TEDx stage, I would have politely downplayed the idea. Most of my childhood, I believed that there was a straight path. You all know the one that I'm talking about. The one where we graduate and we get that good job and we climb the ladder and then we meet the one and we buy the house and we have the 2.5 kids and maybe we have a black lab named Chloe and we all live happily ever after. I chased that straight path like my worth depended on it. And along the way, I lost my voice and I lost my authenticity. And as hard as I tried to stay on track, something just kept tugging me in different directions. And what I have learned is that real life and real growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It happens in the messy middle and at the detours and in the failures and in the designing and in the moments that we celebrate. And it is something that has come for me to call the squiggle. I have been squiggling before I even knew what a squiggle was. And as a youngster, I was a competitive figure skater. And my coach taught the group lessons to the kids, the member kids, at the club that I trained at. And every Sunday, after my early morning training session, I would lace up again, and I would go and I would help her coach. There I was, little me, helping the nervous skaters to stand up, to try again, and to glide a little further each time. And when I was 16, I traded the ice for the pool, and I became a certified lifeguard and a swim instructor. And I taught kids of all ages how to put their face in the water, how to blow bubbles, and then eventually do the front crawl. And then came the first big squiggle into the world of business. I woke up one day and decided that I should probably follow the responsible pathway and become an accountant. Play it safe. And then one day, I was approached for a role in recruitment. And I had worked with recruiters, and so I understood what they did, and I wrote my resume, and I tossed it into the unknown, I crossed my fingers, and I hoped for the best. Several interviews later, I landed the role, and I coached clients through the hiring process, and I coached candidates through career transitions. And then the squiggle struck again, and I landed my dream job in higher education. I was designing and leading career services for alumni across the globe. I was making impact in the lives and careers of so many professionals. What I have learned along the way is that how to translate my strengths, how to share my accomplishments with confidence and humility, and how to use my superpowers or my natural talents in new roles, new industries, and new opportunities. What I was actually doing wasn't chasing a career pathway, I was designing one. And you do not have to have a linear pathway in life or career to be successful, to be powerful, or for it to be meaningful. So let me tell you about the time that I took a leap into the unknown without a map. I had hit burnout. And when it came time for me to return, nothing felt right. Everything felt hard and nothing was in flow. And I ignored every roadblock and I kept pushing through because that's what was expected of me. It's what society expected of me. And I was in a power struggle for months with myself. My mom passed away from pancreatic cancer. 18-month courageous battle. And that experience changed me at a soul level. And when the fog lifted, I started to question, what am I doing with my life? Why am I selling my soul to my career? And I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I craved freedom. I wanted to work from anywhere in the world. I wanted to be my own boss. And I wanted to live life on my terms. My head said go back to higher education, and my heart was desperately whispering, be true to yourself. And in one conversation, everything changed. I was actually on the phone with a trusted friend, and in the middle of that conversation, I hung up. We're still friends. And my resignation letter literally fell out of my fingertips, like it had been just waiting there. And in that moment, I said yes to entrepreneurship with no business plan and no clear map. All I had was self-trust, courage, an abundant mindset, and connections. And what I can tell you is that there have been many unglamorous moments along the way. I have said yes to consulting gigs that were not aligned, and yet I had to say yes, because that was the only way I was going to learn what am I saying yes to and what am I saying no to. I needed to explore those moments. And what I can tell you today is that I'm living my definition of success. I have found my voice again and my authenticity. And I'm living in alignment with my values and my truth and my purpose. And here's what I've learned, is that sometimes we don't get to choose or control the route, but we do get to choose to trust it. And that self-trust and intuition eventually becomes our compass. So sometimes stepping into the unknown isn't an external move. Sometimes stepping into the unknown happens internally. And the myth of meditation is that our thoughts have to stop. But the truth is, meditation changes our relationship we have with thought. It teaches us to observe rather than react. And it teaches us to soften instead of grip. It disrupts, meditation disrupts our inner landscape. It brings the unseen into the seen, and all of those things that we're suppressing brings it into our awareness. Every time I sit in meditation or do breath work, I am stepping into the unknown and connecting with nothing else but myself. And I have no idea what is going to show up. It might be a wave of emotion. It might be unprocessed grief. It might be my inner child. It might be a belief or a pattern that's no longer serving me. It might be peace or joy or happiness. Sometimes it's nothing at all. And when we step into the unknown, into the silence and the stillness, into presence, That's where healing and transformation happens. And sometimes the greatest gift that we can give ourselves is to actually turn inward. So what if we weren't afraid of the unknown, and rather we embraced it like it was a blank canvas? A place to explore and a place to create, or a place to have meaningful conversations about what is possible. What if stepping into the unknown, that twist, that turn, that swiggle, is actually the key to unlocking the life that you're meant to live, or the career that you're meant to have? Stepping into the unknown isn't where we lose ourselves, it's actually where we find ourselves. The most extraordinary chapters of our life are still unwritten. And so what if we did say yes? What is holding you back from taking your first step into the unknown? And I will leave you with that thought.